Welcome to White Tiger Kenpo Orange Belt, Lesson 1. Congratulations on making your yellow belt. Now you're going to go from 20 techniques to 30 techniques. Orange belt will be mainly consisted of grabs. Different ways people grab you: shoulder grabs, chokes, wrist grabs, grabs from behind. That's really what you're going to be dealing with in this lesson. So let's get started. Okay, if you haven't done so, print out the requirement sheets for Yellow Belt for all members. You can find it free on Patreon. If you look at that requirement sheet, you will notice down towards the bottom, around technique 24, I think, you will see chokes and strangles. We usually teach that at that point because by then most students have gone to group class and they already know it. So it's more of a review to make sure that they did get those 5 techniques through group class. If not, I teach it at that point. But since most of the people, most of my students that are watching this don't go to group class, I'm going to do that first so that some of the other techniques later on in the belt, you'll know what chokes I'm referring to, also which ones you can choose from. So there will be, the first thing I'm going to teach you is chokes and strangles A through E, and then I'll teach you Summa. Okay, so let's get started on that. So on the chokes and strangles A through E, as I explained, these are usually taught later on, but we're going to move this up so that you guys that are watching this and unable to do group classes regularly will already be aware of it through the rest of the belt. There's 5 of them. There's a blood choke, a breath choke, using your standard choking, and then you have a scissor choke, a python choke, and a half Nelson choke. I'm going to go through these quickly, verbally, and then what I'm going to do, which I'm not normally going to be doing in these lessons, is I'm going to cut away, insert another video for you to see how that is done on a person, and then I'll come back and reiterate any points that need to be reiterated at that point. So let's first go over them. You got chokes and strangles. When you're doing chokes and strangles, let's keep some etiquette in mind. First, when the person slaps their leg or slaps your leg, you immediately let them go. Do not wait, do not anything. That's what they're doing, they're tapping out. So you let it go at that point, don't take it any further. Also, when practicing, start from both of you being in a kneeled position. Whoever you're working on, have them on their knees, sitting on their ankles. And then you sit with one knee up and one knee down. This, while you're practicing, just helps prevent anyone from falling or getting accidentally hurt while doing this. So remember, do it from a seated position or a kneeling position. Also remember the tap of the etiquette. When someone taps out, you immediately let them go and don't keep choking them to see if you can make them pass out. So the first technique is for chokes and strangles is the A version, which is what we call a blood choke. In this choke, you're going to take the forearm of your right hand and lay it across the windpipe so that the thumb is slightly past the neck, right here. And then this hand will come across the shoulder, and you'll just lay it just across the shoulder so that the wrist is just on the back side of the shoulder, and you grab palm to palm. Then from here, once you grab, you're going to pull in. Just twist, just like you're twisting a faucet. It's real small motions, not a big motion. It's just real small and pull them in tight. Remember, when doing a choke, space kills. You do not want any space between you and your opponent if you're actually putting them in a chokehold. You want to keep them up close and as tight as you can. Also keep in mind, when you put someone in a chokehold, they're not just going to sit there and take it. They're going to flare around, they're going to try to strike, grab, pitch, do whatever they can to get out of that choke. So you might be ready to go for a ride, basically, because you're going to have to hang on for dear life if you really want to get them to choke out. So the A version again, palm to palm. Palm just past the shoulder, top over that. Using this part, you're going to come right across the windpipe, using right there, and you're going to pull them in just like you're turning a faucet on. Okay, this should be moving in a clockwise direction as you pull them into you. So pull and tug, okay? That's the A version. The B version is a blood choke. Same principle, except we're going to move this part of the arm up to the carotid artery, and the thumb will wrap around the back of the neck. And then from here, you still pull in and choke. Okay, so we got the blood, which is going to come from the carotid artery, and A is the breath, because you're going to stop the oxygen to the brain. They're both pretty much the same, so when you do them in the air, one will be this way, and then one will be up just slightly higher, and you'll pull in that way. Then you have the C version, which is your scissor choke. This is where you grab their gi like so, and you're going to use it and place their elbow on the back of their shoulder and grab, and then you use the same twisting action with that gi as you pull them in and apply the choke. Okay, that's a scissor because of the way it looks. It's going to look like a pair of scissors. Then you have the python choke. Now the python is where you're going to wrap your hand in and around. So this hand, you're going to lay this one right like this, and this is going to, like this, and this is going to come right on the back of the neck. So your right hand lays right on the shoulder, and it goes straight down as your left hand goes across the shoulder with the elbow slightly past theirs, and you grab their bicep. And then from there, you're going to wrap the hand around their head, and you're going to pull them in as you push that head down. And it's a squeeze, just like a python. Okay, that's why they call it a python. So it's one here on the back of the neck, grab your bicep as you lay it across the shoulders, and squeeze. It's one of my favorite chokes. It's either this one or the breath choke or blood choke. Those are the two I usually use in almost all of my situations. Okay, the fifth and final choke is what we call a half Nelson. And what you've done here is you started to grab the shirt or the gi to do like a scissor choke, and their hands come up. Like I said, they're trying to stop you. They're going to try to strike you in the eyes, try to strike you in the face. But basically the hand is coming up to strike or to try to stop you from what you're doing. You're just going to wrap around the hand and put them in a half Nelson as you pull the hand. So it's just like this. Just pull in there. Okay? So we got a breath choke. We got the blood choke. We've got the scissor choke. Then we've got the python choke, and then the half Nelson choke. Okay? Now I'm going to cut away to the video, and then we'll be back and go over sumo. Now we're going to do these with our practice partner in a kneeled or sitting position. This is a safety precaution so that nobody gets hurt. Now remember, the objective of this drill is not to knock out your opponent or your partner. We don't want them being knocked out, because then it's dangerous to try to revive them correctly. Now the first one we're going to use is the blood choke. Now the key to these chokes, or any chokes, is don't come around like this, because if I come around like this, he can just come up and block very easily. We always want to snake or crawl within it. Now a breath choke, the thumb here goes right across the windpipe, just like so. The hand comes straight on the shoulder. We grab. Now you want to tuck your chin, because he's going to try to strike your eyes or hit you when you apply this. So tuck your head, pull in, and then immediately let go as soon as your partner slaps. Okay, again on the breath, the hand comes in, thumb right there. The crook of the thumb should be just right on that windpipe. You should just feel it. Palm straight down, tuck your head, push and pull. Okay, the blood choke, same thing, except we're going to come up higher. The thumb should come around the carotid artery. Same position, just a slightly different tuck and chin. Okay, what you see a lot of students do is they put the elbow way down here. Now you don't want that, because he could just use the crook of his elbow, crook of your elbow, to breathe. So make sure these are flush. So the blood choke again, here, grab, and squeeze. Now keep in mind, if you're actually using these in a self-defense situation, it's going to take up to about 30 seconds for the guy to pass out. And during that time, he's not going to sit there and just let you do it. He's going to be struggling, so you need to be ready and hang on and go for a ride. The other thing is make sure you're close and up personal with your opponent. Don't be out here like this trying to apply it, because you've got no base. He's just going to keep moving, or he's going to dance her out. So you've got to be up next to him. The next one we're going to look at is the scissor choke. This one you come up almost like a blood choke, but you're going to grab his gi. This hand comes in the back. Some people refer to it almost as the I Dream of Jeannie, because of the way your hands are. Hand here, grab your bicep, and squeeze. Okay, again on the scissor choke, you come in and around. Grab his gi. Grab your bicep, and then squeeze together. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is the half Nelson. Basically, you start to do like a blood or breath choke, and the guy comes up and tries to get you with his eyes. You know, he's trying to punch you or something. So you just come in and wrap it, and then apply it as well. Okay, again, on the half Nelson, you start to do the choke, and he's trying to come up and fight you. So use his arm to help with the lock. The last one of these we're going to look at is the python. Now, the python is this, okay? So the hand comes here, and this goes here, just like this. Now, if you do this, the elbow should just be slightly past the shoulder, and this is here. Now, if you do this properly, he should start feeling it before you even apply the lock. Okay? Again, the elbow slightly past the shoulder, not on the shoulder, just past it. This hand comes in, and you grab your own bicep. Get in there nice and snug, grab the crown of his head, and squeeze. Okay, and those are your chokes for a sitting position. Okay, now that you have a complete understanding, or hopefully at least a working understanding of the chokes and strangles A through E, let's look at your first self-defense technique in White Tiger Kenpo Orange Belt. And the first one you're going to learn is called sumo. Now, if you're a tracing student or are familiar with the tracing system, then you're going to be familiar with this technique. It's the second technique you learn in their system. And sumo is for a low grab. Someone's coming up and grabs you around the belt, just like a sumo wrestler. That's about the only where you can grab a sumo wrestler is the top of that cloth there. So as they come up and grab, their radial nerves are exposed, and that's what we're going to use to attack. That would be their weak point besides their throat. So one of the first moves we're going to do is when they grab, we're going to immediately step out and drive. Using our forearms, we're going to strike down and across those radial nerves as we bring the hands into chamber. Okay, again, so we want to step out, drive, bring those hands into chamber, and then imagine there's a rubber back here, and as soon as you bring them in, you're going to bounce right back out to a double spear hand to either side of the windpipe. Making sure the fingers are slightly bent. The thumb is tucked. You don't want it out because you don't want to get caught on clothing or anything and end up jamming your own hand as you do this technique. So tuck that thumb. Bend those fingers ever so slightly and strike to either side of the windpipe as you immediately bounce back. That should be done as one move. So let's do that move again. Out, drive, and back in. Okay, again, step out right to the 3 o'clock position. Double forearm strike to the radial nerves. As we do so, we're going to kind of split that hand, open them up a little bit, drive a double spear hand strike to either side of the windpipe, back, bounce back, right back into chamber. Okay, one more time on that opening. Get it to where you can do it as one smooth motion. Now from here, we're going to step forward with our right foot as we grab with our left hand. Now you can check, I prefer to grab, this just keeps them one within distance of what I want to do, and it keeps them up as I go into my hammer fist. So as we've done our first strike here, we're going to come back, step in and grab. We want to be in a soft bow stance so that we can do a forearm strike to the solar plexus. Continue on with that motion and aim for the chin. If you get it, you get it. If you don't worry about it. It's just a secondary strike in this particular technique. Then you're going to roll over into a hammer fist to the groin, where at this point you have your left hand in check as you're in a reverse soft bow. So let's go through those two sections again. So section 1, drive the arms, elbow, chamber, back out. Step and grab into a soft bow, forearm strike into horse, roll over, hammer fist to the groin, left hand in check. From this position, you're going to line your cat stance up with your opponent, throw a back kick, and cross out. This is one of the few times we cross out. Unlike other systems like American Kenpo that cross out of every technique, we don't. We stay right there so that if we need to re-engage with our attacker, we don't have to gain that critical distance line again. We're still slightly out of the distance if we need to, but usually we end the technique by staying right there, so if we need to continue, we can. Okay, so we got sumo again. Out. Bounce out immediately. Just bring the hands in chamber and just pop them right back out. So it's one smooth motion. Step forward. Right hand grab this, and also be a check if you wish. Like I said, I prefer to grab so I can keep them upright. Forearm strike. Continue it over into a rollover hammer fist as your left hand turns into a check. Draw to a cat stance. Back kick and cross out. Okay, let's do it from this direction so you can see a different angle. So we're standing in our neutral stance. They come up and grab. Double forearm strike into chambers, bounce out, double spear hand to either side of the windpipe. Step forward with your right foot between their legs, line yourself up. Forearm smash to the solar plexus. Continue the motion aiming for the chin. Roll over into a reverse soft bow. Hammer fist to the groin. Draw to cat, back kick, and cross out with your hands up, ready to go. Okay, again. Double strike. Double strike to either side of the windpipe. Step in. Soft bow. Forearm smash to horse. Continue over into a soft bow. Draw to cat, kick, and cross out. Okay, from this direction. Okay, we're going to do step out, double forearm strike, into the throat, step forward into a soft bow, forearm strike to horse, roll over into a soft bow, left hand in check, draw to cat, kick, and out. Okay, one last time. So, we come up in the grab low, double strike. Okay, we're going to step to horse, but as we drop our body weight into horse stance, that's when we want to strike. And then we're just going to bounce it right back out. Okay, so don't stop that momentum. Use it. Okay, step, forearm. Okay, use that soft bow to really shove them and hit them as hard as you can. Roll over, back kick, and out. Okay, so your first two new techniques for orange belt is chokes and strangles A through E and sumo. Now the next thing I'm going to teach you is your first section of short one, which is your first kata and only kata in orange belt. This is a simple plus pattern. It's real similar to the Tracy's Kenpo kata short one. The only thing we did is, in having you do just blocks, we use techniques to get you used to using techniques in that situation and to go from one technique into the next using a basic plus pattern in the same footwork. So just like all of our katas, they will always begin and end with a salutation. In this case, it's a basic salutation as per, instead of a formal salutation, which you don't use until blue belt. So you're going to step out, do your bow, slide back in. Now from here, section one, you're going to step back with your left. You got a right punch coming from the 12 o'clock position, and you're going to do stop hit A. Then you got a left punch coming, so you're going to step back and do stop hit stop hit D again, but weak side. So again, salutation, bow, step back. Okay, that's stop hit D, open back up, step back again, stop hit D. All the technique in this case is right, left, coming from the 12 o'clock position, and that's section one. So we'll do it from this angle. Start with your salutation, come back to your attention stance, step back, stop hit D, open back up, slide back, stop hit D, weak side. Maintaining that heel-toe relationship and staying on a 3-9 axis. Okay, so now you know short one, or at least the first section of short one. You have sumo and you have chokes and strangles. So you have a lot of information and a lot of stuff to practice this week. As soon as you're ready and you have the basic idea down, come back and learn lesson 2 of orange belt. Till then, keep up the good work.